Hi there, my name is Tanya and I live in Southwest Washington State. And what I was going to record today was getting some early starts in the ground that I've started about 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. And we've got a greenhouse area that we just built and the earth is ready. It's composted, ready to go. And true to Washington State form, it started raining outside, like really raining. So today instead, we're going to talk about lacto-fermentation. I just came across this not too long ago, so I am still learning, but I am so excited about this. Super, super excited about it. So basically, without going into the long version of what lacto-fermentation is, the fermenting of vegetables in a salt and water brine, the salt and water suppresses any bad bacteria and promotes the growth of healthy bacteria. So things like kefir, kombucha, anything like that you can think of that's yogurt, that's got the good probiotics and everything in it, is exactly what grows. It's actually the natural occurring bacteria that's already on the vegetables. So again, I just started doing this and I'm hooked. It is so much fun. First thing is I started with a kit that I got from masontops.com. You use them with your already existing mason jars. And I just have wide mouth quart jars. These are my favorites. They're just easy to clean, stuff like that. And the kit comes with everything that you need as far as the jar goes. If you have the jar, excuse me. So it comes with a wooden pouncer. I'll explain that in a minute. And it comes with these little silicone plastic. It kind of reminds me of like a baby bottle, like all those years ago washing all those rings and bottles and everything. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Anyway, so it's got a similar type of top that breathes. So the next step is the pebble. Now, they used to make these with just a flat glass top, and they were kind of hard to pick up, I understand. Again, I just started, so I got in on the one with the little handle, so that's a good thing. Okay, so let's make our first batch. This is fun. So what you start with is vegetables. The first batch that I made, we already gobbled up. We loved it. One quick note, start out small if you're not used to eating sauerkraut, kimchi, fermented foods. You just don't want any tummy upset because it's bringing so much good stuff into your body. So the first batch that we did, we annihilated. And I did realize I needed to start doing the batches like one batch per week or something like that, maybe 2-3 jars at a time, because we're going through it, but then it takes me another 10 days for the next ferment to be done. So I'm finally figuring this out. This next round that I made was actually a ginger, garlic, and carrot mixture. It is so good, and the possibilities are endless. Throwing it on a stir fry, in a sandwich, in a wrap, in your salad, and just adding that extra boost, immune boosting nutrition, and all those good bacteria for your gut. We know that the gut is where everything starts health-wise. If you want to reverse health issues that you're having, I'm not a doctor, not claiming to be, but I can guarantee you fermented foods is one part, very important part of that process. Okay, so this one, absolutely yummy. Did this 10 days ago, so I just took it out of this stage and just put my plastic mason jar lid, Target, super easy to find. And then this stays in the fridge and we're just gonna gobble this up. So this one is super, super yummy. The next ones are a combination of cauliflower, asparagus, and garlic. And then there's some green beans in there too. So I think this will be really yummy. I'm looking forward to the cauliflower and the asparagus. I think it'll taste really, really good. Again, addition to salads, or just even a little bit on the side of your plate when you're eating, like, I don't know, a sandwich. Like you'd have a pickle, grab some of this. Okay, so that was the second ferment. It just started, so there they are. They're gonna just kind of cook like this in a cool, dark place. I just keep them in my pantry where there's no sunlight, and they've done great. I tried it out in my garage and I felt like it was a little bit too cold. So, okay, so here's how you do it. You start out with a clean mason jar, and you're just gonna choose your veggies that you wanna chop up and put in here. The veggies that are a little bit more firm, like bell peppers, green beans, cauliflower, garlic, onions, carrots, ginger, they all tend to stand up to the fermenting process a little bit better. So if you have something that's kind of getting too ripe, maybe don't use it. Also things like tomatoes and cucumber, just expect them to turn into more of like a salsa type of consistency. They're not going to retain any sort of crunchiness. Okay, so I start out with a clean jar and I do my veggies up to about a third or a half. And then this wooden pounder is developed for either wide mouth or small mouth mason jars. I always use wide mouth. So you just pound your veggies down. And so you're kind of wanting to break them down a little bit, but also you're going to add as much as you possibly can. And so I get up to probably about an inch from the top. It's right about where it's curved right there, maybe 1.25 inches. And then in a separate container, you just mix 2 cups of water with 4 teaspoons of salt. I like to use pink Himalayan fine salt. You can use whatever kind of salt that you want. Sea salt is a great option too. So I stir that together, pour it over the top. Now I've got all my veggies and I've got my salt brine added. There's no cooking, there's nothing else that you need to do other than put your pebble in. Pebble goes on top and it's just going to sit there. And the pebble's purpose, it's going to lean a little bit when you're kind of partway through a ferment. That's okay, as long as it's keeping the majority of the vegetables down. That's the goal. We want them soaking up that salt water. And then adding the pebble to the top. And then at that point, we just add one of these and that just goes on top. It's breathable. So it's just kind of like that big part of the baby bottle. So I'm going to say it. It's like the nipple on the baby bottle. Okay, there, I said the word. And then your ring. So really at that point, you just have to have your ring that you're going to have anyways when you buy a pack of these and put that on. So glass jar, veggies, salt water, pebble, this little guy, and then the ring. And then at that point, you're done and all you're doing is waiting. You can get away with 7 days sometimes, but I feel like 10 to 14 days is like the perfect window for most vegetables. I kind of try to cut all my stuff up uniform. So if I've got, green beans, I'm going to make the cauliflower chunks like a little bit smaller. So you don't have like one really huge piece of vegetable and then a bunch of tiny pieces and stuff like that. So yeah, this is how you do it. I, again, have just started doing this. I'm super excited about it. And it is really, really a fun hobby. And it makes me feel good that I can bring so many wonderful, good probiotics into our family's diet. So thank you so much for watching. And I would love it if you liked and subscribed. Have a great day. Bye.